thank you so much, sir, for coming on the program. It's great talking to you tonight.
My privilege. Thank you.
Tell us, if you can, a little bit about the legislation that has been introduced. I understand by yourself, your a colleague in the Senate from Idaho as well, Senator Risch, and Congressman Roe Labrador.
Yes, the three of us have introduced an amendment to the Endangered Species Act that would permit the taking of a grizzly bear in self-defense situations. Specifically, a taking would be legal in the case of self-defense or defense of another individual, or a reasonable belief that there is imminent danger posed by a grizzly bear to any individual. And as I think most people in America recently found out, the background for this legislation is that in early August, an Idaho man shot a grizzly bear that was in his yard and was then charged by the U.S. attorney for an illegal taking. And although ultimately that case has been resolved, and we are glad to see that it was resolved with just the payment of a fine, the bottom line is we think it needs to be made very clear to people that they are entitled to protect themselves and others if they are faced with an attack by a grizzly bear.
This was such a bizarre case. I mean, it seemed like everybody who investigated this, right up until the U.S. attorney got involved, felt like Mr. Hill had acted in self-defense. And the local prosecutor looked into this, the Fish and Wildlife Department, local sheriff's department. Were you surprised when the U.S. attorney announced that they were going to be bringing charges against Mr. Hill?
Well, yes, I was, and so were most of the people in Idaho, I think. The outcry that we received in the congressional offices was on par with the kind of public sentiment that you see with major national issues. And I think it was a result of the fact that there is an increasing frustration among people with regard to the Endangered Species Act and its rigid enforcement. People have no problem with protecting our species and the incredible wildlife heritage that we have in America and in Idaho, but the enforcement of the act has been unreasonable, to put it mildly, over the years, and I think that people finally just got fed up when they saw that a man with his children and a wife in the yard was not able to defend them against a grizzly bear unless apparently, I don't know what the standard that the agency would have finally implied to the attorney's office. They might have required an actual attack to be in place before he shot. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's what was so troubling about this is here is a man on his property defending his family, and what are we supposed to do? Look, I understand the grizzly bear is on the endangered species list, but if we're talking sheer numbers, I'm guessing there are fewer children in the Hill household than there are grizzly bears in Idaho.
Yeah, that would be true. And as a matter of fact, we have seen an increase in grizzly bear confrontations and attacks in the region in the last couple of years. If I understand correctly, there have actually been two people killed by grizzly bears in the Yellowstone area this year. I don't know if I've got that information exactly accurate, but I believe it is. Mm-hmm. And the number of confrontations where, fortunately, there was not a fatality has also increased because the number of bears is increasing.
Well, what happens next with this legislation, Senator?
Well, we've introduced it. I'm sure that it will be referred to the Environment and Public Works Committee in the Senate, and that's where I sit. And I'm going to work very hard with the chairman of that committee, Barbara Boxer, to see if she won't bring it up for a hearing and then move it along the legislative process promptly. If we are not able to achieve that, then I'm certain that Senator Risch and I and Representative Labrador in the House will be looking for opportunities to bring this as an amendment to some other piece of legislation that is moving in the Congress.
All right, Senator, thank you again, sir, for joining us on the program. It's great talking to you, and appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you very much.
Senator Mike Crapo joining us from Idaho, talking about the new amendment to the Endangered Species Act that would just make it clear if you or somebody you love or somebody you know is being attacked by a grizzly bear, you can act in self-defense.